This video, we're going to spend a bit of time with the original Xbox. We're going to look at its design, we're going to look at some prices, and we're going to look at what makes it so darn weird. Specifically, a really strange decision that Microsoft made, so stick around for that. Oh, and really quickly, I got a challenge for you. See if you can guess what every game is that's featured in this video from the gameplay alone. Put your answer in the comments down below. So this is my Xbox, and I paid $30 Australian for it. The controller that I use while playing the Xbox, well, it's the original massive controller, nicknamed the Duke. Like, this thing is huge. Now, I'm a fairly tall guy, I have reasonably big hands, and I found it relatively easy to use, but I can understand if a child or just a smaller person was using it, it would be super cumbersome. But on the bright side, if someone breaks into your house, you can knock that sucker right out with it. If you go onto Facebook Marketplace, at least in my area here, you can pick up an Xbox and a few games for between $50 to $150 Australian. Oh my god. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Did you know that the very first commercial for the Xbox was banned in the UK? It depicted a naked boy flying through the air and landing in a coffin with the words "Life is short" coming up. I don't really know why they banned it. Jesus. When I look at the Xbox and I look at its design, it really does feel alien. The way that the ridges stick out, and when it sits upon my entertainment unit, it looks like a tank. That thing looks mean. I don't care if it's 20 years old. Holy crap, what a startup animation. That to me screams power, it screams beast. Just look at the aesthetics in this console. It's green, green, green. It's got these eerie sounds. What you just heard was rumored to be actual recordings from NASA transmissions, but no one really knows. I couldn't find any hard evidence as to what that is, and it's creepy, and I like it. But you know what's also scary? Back in the mid-2000s, a Reddit user shared a story, later picked up by tech blogs, about something very unsettling that happened with their original Xbox. See, the user's uncle had passed away unexpectedly. He was a big gamer and had played hours and hours of Halo and top spin tennis on the family's original Xbox. His gamer profile was still saved on the hard drive, and after his death, the family left the Xbox untouched for a while. It felt too personal to mess with. One day, months later, the user and his dad decided to fire up the Xbox again and play some games together. They loaded up Top Spin, and to their surprise, the console auto-loaded into the uncle's profile. Odd, since no one had selected it. That alone was eerie, but it gets weirder. They played a game of tennis. The uncle's profile was the CPU opponent. The user's dad was shocked. "That's exactly how your uncle used to play," he said. The CPU was using unorthodox tricks, pausing in strange ways and placing shots just like the uncle used to, playing in a rhythm that only a real person could recognize. Turns out the original Xbox saved Ghost Starter. This wasn't well publicised, but certain titles like Top Spin and Rally Sport Challenge saved your personal gameplay style for future matches against friends. So when they played against the uncle's Ghost Data, it was really him. His digital echo was still in the machine. So the dad quietly unplugged the Xbox after the match and never played it again. His son though, well, he kept the console, preserving it almost like a shrine. So when the Xbox was released in Japan, it had a terrible reception. It didn't sell well at all. Part of that was believed to be because of the massive Duke control. So they actually made a smaller version of that control called the Xbox Controller S that they sold in Japan and then eventually sold it globally. It is often referred to as the better of the two controllers, but you know what? The Duke did just fine for me. Let's go over some of the more expensive games you could get for the original Xbox and what you can expect to pay for them. So I've selected a few key games that define the Xbox and we're going to go through them in ascending order. I want you to take a guess at what you think the most expensive game is and put your guess down in the comments down below. Alright, let's do it. Conker Live and Reloaded, a sequel to Conker Bad Fur Day on Nintendo 64, which is a legendarily expensive game. This one is at $52. Jet Set Radio Future, an absolute classic. It is at $100. Keep in mind, this is Australian dollars. It'll be about 2/3 that for the US pricing. Castlevania Curse of Darkness, $150. And I've never played a Castlevania game apart from Lords of Shadow, which I know is probably nothing like the original games. Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast, $200. That is not even number one. Do you know what number one is? Take a guess. If you guess Steel Battalion Line of Contact or Steel Battalion with the controller for $450, you guessed correctly. That is an absolute massive controller. I've never seen one in real life, and maybe one day, if I'm really fortunate enough, I'll have one. Now, let's just go over one more thing before we get to my final thoughts, and that is a few crazy theories about the Xbox that popped up shortly after its release. One of them including that the Xbox was actually a Trojan horse designed to control someone's living room. See, some people believe that the original Xbox wasn't really about gaming, it was actually Microsoft's master plan to infiltrate their living room, beat Sony, and eventually dominate entertainment and media. The theory goes that Bill Gates knew early on that controlling the TV and music and online access in the home, in the living room, was more powerful than just running a PC. And this all came about because someone asked the question, why would a software company get into the hardware console game? Another crazy theory is that Xbox Live was actually a mass social experiment. Some people believe that Xbox Live wasn't just online gaming, it was an early test of virtual identity, trolling behavior, community moderation, and real-time voice communication. Basically, a digital petri dish for how humans interact. And what about one more crazy theory? The black box symbolism. See, there's a theory that the Xbox's black cube design was intentional and symbolic. A nod to the monolithic technology like 2001: A Space Odyssey, and even ancient occultism. The green glow, supposedly symbolic of control, tech ascendance, or even alien communication. In fact, many people believe that the noises, the garbled techno babble that they heard on the Xbox menu if they left it sit for long enough, was actual genuine alien communication. Man, this Xbox is weird and I love it. Now, what was that incredibly frustrating and strange decision that Microsoft made that I mentioned earlier? Well, see, I was unfortunate enough to be born in Australia, which means the console that I would get is the PAL version. Why is this unfortunate, you say? Well, see, the US version, the NTSC version of the console, supported HD output standard. That meant you could go into the settings and you could make sure that 480p, 720p, and 1080i were options that some games were able to use. But out here in Australia, unfortunately, our consoles at max, no matter what we do, will display at 576 interlaced, which means if you have a component cable with a HDMI converter and you put that into a HD60S capture card, this is the beautiful imagery that you get to experience. Now, I understand that if I were to soft mod my Xbox console, I could probably access those high resolutions. Now, what about the Xbox 360? Well, I did a video on that about 12 months ago. Why not check it out? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.